Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be talking about doing a spring cleaning in every single aspect of your life and doing a massive purge to help you get closer to your goals and to make your life a little bit more effortless. Let's dive in. It is the springtime. And right now, people talk about spring cleaning and going through and making their house prettier and all of that stuff and getting rid of things and purging things that they don't necessarily need anymore. And what I'm going to talk about today is really good for the spring, but I actually recommend that you do it at least 2 to 4 times a year. And every 6 months to every quarter is what I would recommend. And it is to look around your life and to purge anything that is not serving you anymore. And so a couple episodes ago, I talked about the mental diet that you're on and how you actually pay attention to everything that comes into your brain. Now let's start to talk a little bit more about your physical environment that's around you. Because all too often, we hang on to things just to have them. And this is something that we're going through right now in my life. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably know this. If you don't follow me on Instagram, which I know a lot of people don't, my wife is pregnant and she's actually due in about a month. And she's been doing this thing called nesting. And if you don't know what nesting is, we've been cleaning out every single spot in our entire lives. We're cleaning out what was the guest room and now it's going to be in the nursery. We're cleaning out my office. We're cleaning out our entire house. And she just wants things to go. Cleaning out the garage, all of the entire house is a spring cleaning. And that's what I spend my weekends doing now, which is awesome. But if you don't follow me on Instagram, you probably didn't know. So now you do know my wife is pregnant. We have a boy, a mini mindset mentor that's going to be coming in May. And so one of the things that we do though, and more than anything else, is we hang on to things and we realize, damn, we have a lot of stuff we need to get rid of, like stuff that we just don't really need anymore, stuff that we can donate. And all too often we do this in our lives. We just have things. We have thoughts, we have habits, we have people that we kind of keep around just because we think, maybe I might need this shirt that I haven't worn in 7 years. But the way I like to think about it is that everything that you own owns a piece of you. And everything that you have in your life owns a little teeny tiny spot in your brain. And the way I like to think about it is if it's not helping you move forward, if it's not propelling you forward in life, it could be weighing you down. And so when you purge, when you do a spring cleaning, you're able to move faster. You feel lighter. Life becomes a little bit more effortless. And some of you have never done this before, which means that when you do, you are going to feel like a different person. And so it's called a purge. It's called spring cleaning because we're in the spring right now. And the idea is to do this, to take one day of your life. Take this weekend. If you have nothing planned on Sunday, take this weekend and do nothing but just get rid of things. And get rid of whatever is not serving you. And I'm going to teach you all of the different categories. You know, of course, there's like t-shirts and all of that stuff, but there's other things besides like just the spring cleaning side of it. This is mental, this is emotional cleaning as well. So first off, we're going to talk about the physical objects because those are easy to get through, right? Before we dive into the actual real deep stuff. Go through every single room in your house, the rooms, the garage, the office, the car, everywhere, which is what I've been doing with my life recently, and purge everything that does not serve you. Stop hoarding things. Everything that you own owns a piece of you. It owns a piece of your brain. And you will start to notice that when you get rid of things, you will feel a little bit lighter and a little bit more free. And so what you want to do, you maybe have never done this before, but you want to design your environment to support you and your goals. You know, if you have a family, and you want to become closer, can you design your environment to support you in becoming closer to your family? And if you are single and you're working towards your goals and you live in a 1-bedroom apartment, can you design your environment? If you're growing your first business ever, can you design your environment to support you in your goals? You know, for me, when I had a 1-bedroom apartment, when I was single, when I was growing one of my first businesses, it was all designed around how can I support how can I design my environment to help me in getting closer to my goals, right? So there were books everywhere and all it was just basically a bookshelf. There was no TV because that's not helping me and supporting me and growing my business, but it was a whiteboard on the wall so I could sit on my couch and I could brainstorm and I could think and I could have friends over and we could brainstorm and think. And so can you design your environment? Everyone who's listening is in a different stage of their life. Can you design your environment to support you in your goals? That's the first thing that I want to bring in. Now, let's start to talk about other things. When you think about what's going on in your brain, think about the thoughts that you think. And you want to take a pen and piece of paper and you want to write down everything. Write down every room in your house, write down everything that you have in there that you can get rid of, that you can let go of, what you're going to do with them. But now let's start to talk about what goes on in your brain. Are there thoughts that you think that are no longer serving you? That you should maybe do a mental spring cleaning inside of your brain? Are there thoughts that you think? Are there fears that you have? Are there limiting beliefs that you have that are holding you back from creating the life that you want? Does there happen to be maybe a story or a narrative that you have about yourself that's holding you back? Do you have a story or narrative about your parents and the way that they treated you as a child that's holding you back? Do you have a story or a narrative about your spouse or your significant other or your children or your brother or sister, your family members that are holding you back in some sort of way that you've been holding on to for 17 years and it's time for you to get rid of? Can you go through and actually start to think about the thoughts that are going on in your head and say, does this serve me? And if it doesn't, how can I get rid of it? How can I let go of it? So that's the first thing, is the mental side. Then I want you to start to think about the actions that you take, the habits that you have, and start to think about, does this help me or does this hurt me? Has this just been lingering for years? If you have a habit of going to bed really late, you're just like, oh, I'm just a night owl. That's just the way that I am. Okay. Or have you trained yourself to be that way? I remember watching a video one time with Rick Rubin, who's like probably the best music producer that's ever existed. And I remember listening to it, and he's like, I thought for the first 50 years of my life, I was just a night owl. And he goes, and then I just decided to start being a morning person. And I realized that I had trained myself to be a night owl. And so I retrained myself to be a morning person. So can you start to think about the habits that you have? Waking up late, is that helping you? Is that hurting you? Going to bed late, is that helping you or hurting you? When you work out, don't work out. The walks that you do or don't go on, the habits that you have, the actions that you take. Are those helping you or are those hurting you? If they're serving you and they're serving you for the greater good and moving you towards the life that you want, hold on to those things. If they're holding you back from the life that you want, maybe those are some things that you should start to let go of and replace with something else that's going to be helping you. What about the standards that you have for yourself? Do you have certain standards that are helping you? Cool, keep those. Do you have certain standards that are hurting you? Cool, maybe that's something that you should start to let go of. You know, like if you're the type of person who shows up late to calls, shows up late to meetings, shows up late to family and friend events, you know that's probably not the way that you want to be viewed by other people. I literally had I was watching a sales call that one of my team members had done. It was a Zoom that was recorded. And the guy said on it, he said, I was on an enrollment call and I was on a call with another company that's a competitor of yours. And the guy showed up 10 minutes late. He didn't apologize. He just showed up 10 minutes late. And he said to himself, yeah, I'm not working with these people. Just because of the environment. It wasn't some people can't show up late. It was there was no apology. And he was, he believes in being on time. And that was just a mini part of him. So it's like, hey, maybe if you're showing up a little bit late, maybe if you're not following through on doing what you say you're going to do, maybe those things are kind of holding you back in some sort of way, because the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So what are your habits? What are your actions? What are your standards that are helping you? And what are the ones that are hurting you? And can you keep the ones that are helping you and serving you? And can you let go of the ones that are not? Then we should talk about the people that you surround yourself with, right? Your friends, your family, your significant other, the people that you follow on Instagram, as I spoke about a couple episodes ago. Are they helping you? Are they hurting you? Are they celebrating your success? Do they not care about your success? Do they find holes in your success? You should start to go through and start to think about, hey man, like I've got people right here that have been around in my life for a really long time. And every single time I'm around them, I start to feel worse about myself. I start to feel drained when I think about being around them. Okay, well, are they helping you or are they hurting you? Is that relationship serving you? Are you serving them in that relationship? Start to go through and start to think with a fine-tooth comb, like, what should I do? Okay, what about the food that you consume? The food that's inside of your house, is it helping you? Is it hurting you? We had a baby shower a couple weeks ago, and we had all of the cake come back to our house, and we had all of the treats and stuff come back to our house. And I don't have any self-control when it comes around those things. So what I do personally is I keep all of that shit out of the house. When it was in the house and then everyone came over and my mom was over at the house and she was staying there and my wife's family was staying at the house, it was all there. I don't have really great self-control. I have great self-control until I have sugar. After I have self-control, after I have sugar, I have no self-control. So I had to get rid of all of that stuff. Once everybody left, I had to throw all of it away. I said, either take it, if you don't want to take it, it's getting thrown in the trash, because I just know how I am. So when you look around at the food that's inside of your house, is it serving you? Is it helping you become healthier, become the person you want to be? Is it hurting you in some sort of way? Are you like me where you got sugar problems and if there's too much sugar, you eat it? That's what I do. And so I know with myself, there's a difference. I wrote this in my book. There's a difference between Rob that has Skittles in the house and Rob that doesn't have Skittles in the house. And my willpower is different. And that's me. Like, I know what my willpower is. So do you know what's in your house, what's helping you, what's hurting you, all of that stuff? What about your finances? When you look at the way that you think about your finances, the habits that you have around your finances, the fact that maybe you've never done a budget before and you're 40 years old and you have money coming in, you've never sat down and said, okay, I need to look at where my money's going. I need to look at how I'm allocating my money. I need to look at all of this stuff. And you start to look at your finances. Are your habits, your traits, your actions helping you in becoming the person that you want to be and maybe becoming more financially free or financially stable or getting out of debt? Or is it hurting you? Do you end up spending more money that you need to? Do you end up going into Target more times than you need to and you meant to go buy one thing, but you end up spending $300 at Target because you found a bunch of really cool stuff that you liked, right? Are your finances that you currently have, are they helping or hurting you? If you're looking at your life, you're saying, this is the amazing life that I want to create. This is how much money that I have. Is where I currently am going to help me get to where I want to be? Or do I need to start maybe figuring something else out? Do I need to learn something? Do I need to get a new skill set in order to make myself more valuable in the marketplace? Start to see what you can do some spring cleaning on. You know, oh my gosh, I'm spending this much money on these things. Yeah, I don't really need to buy. I don't need to spend. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take 6 months off of Netflix. I'm going to save myself that $10 or $20, however much Netflix costs. What about my living situation? The people that I live with. You know, if you have some roommates, are they helping you or are they hurting you in your situation? You know, if you don't really like your roommates, could you try to switch to another place, bunk up with a friend and maybe they need a roommate or something? Is your living situation helping you or hurting you? Can you purge certain things in your living situation? What about technology in your life? TV, social media, Netflix, Hulu, Paramount Plus, Peacock, all of those things that now exist. Are they helping you? Are they hurting you? They might be hurting you in some sort of way. Can you go through and start to purge things? Can you do some spring cleaning in every single aspect of your life? This isn't like, it requires a lot of effort, and that's why a lot of people don't do this. But I promise you, when you do this type of stuff, it's going to help you so much. What about the possessions that you own? All of the things that are in your house. Think about that. What about your goals and your vision? Do you have your goals up? Do you have your vision? Have you thought about it? Have you started thinking about every single little thing that's inside of your life? What you really need to start thinking to yourself is ask yourself, if you're trying to figure out, like, should I keep this? Should I not keep this? I'm not really sure. Ask yourself the question, does it serve me? Does it serve me? When I look at my possessions, this thing right here that's in front of me, does it serve me? When I look at the TV subscriptions that I have, does it serve me? When I look at social media and the people that I'm following on social media, does it serve me? When I look at my living situation, does it serve me? When I look at the things that I'm spending money on, does it serve me? When I look at the food that's inside of my house, does it serve me? When I look at the people that are around me, does it serve me and do I serve them? When I look at my standards that I have for myself in different aspects of my life, does that standard serve me? When I look at the actions that I do or don't take, does it serve me? When I look at my habits of everything that's going going on, does it serve me? When I think of my thoughts, do my thoughts in this pattern that I have, does it serve me? What I want you to do is to start becoming very intentional about every single aspect of your life. And sadly, I know that some people listening to this episode are going to be like, this is awesome, this is great, and you will never do this. Some people are going to listen to this episode and be like, I'm going to dedicate a day. And I promise you, if you do want to put in, it takes a lot of effort. I'm just going to prep you. It takes a lot of effort. But if you do this, you will notice you have so much more mental energy to spend on things that are important to you, and when you design every aspect of your environment, internal and external, to support you to create the life that you want, it becomes easier when you stop pulling so many things that have been around you your entire life. It's like you have a trailer full of things and stuff and habits and traits and standards and people that you're pulling around with you all of the time that you should have let go of 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And as you start to let go of these things, your life becomes easier. And getting to where you want to go becomes less effort and more effortless. So do a little spring cleaning this weekend. So that's what I got for you for today's episode. If you love this episode, please do me a favor. Share it on your Instagram stories and tag me in at Rob Dial Jr., ROBDIALJR. The only way this podcast grows is from you guys sharing it. So I'd greatly appreciate it if you would share this. And with that, I'm going to leave you the same way I leave every single episode. Make it your mission to make someone else's day better. I appreciate you, and I hope that you have an amazing day.